Well, quiet and in a way trustful, but you don't know.
Well, that's quite difficult. Well, I don't know, but I like most of them.
Pretty scared for the most of the things. They always say, it wasn't me. I'm going here, instead of saying, okay, I can't help you with anything.
Oh, fine.
It's difficult. I'm not good at this.
Lagom. It's Swedish. I think the word lagom is only in Sweden. No, I think the Swedish people are. I think they want to do the right thing.
Too polite for their own good.
But I think if you do summera that, it's you come to the word lagom. You have the people who is very happy and delightful, and you have the people who is more like depressed and so. So I think the Swedish people are lagom.
How should I explain it? People are too good. Many in the Swedish society are too good for their own good because people eventually take advantage of it.
Firstly, I think it's a little bit difficult to define Swedish people. I mean, if you want to go ethnic about it, then I don't know. That may be one thing. I think at the moment, Swedish people have been kind of Americanized for a while. So very open to new trends. Here in the countryside, maybe a little bit more traditional.
They're friendly, most of them. Very friendly. They say people in Stockholm, but I think they're friendly.
Private. Very private.
Very calm and not say so much.
I come from Finland. I'm 21 years old, and I've been living here for 1 year and a half now. I think Swedes are a bit more open than Finns. They are a bit more. We Finns are a bit more closed, and what I have understood a bit over this time I've lived here is that Swedes are maybe a bit more, open for social maybe.
They have so much to do, so they haven't time to spend time with their neighbors or nothing. That's pretty boring. If you live in an apartment in Stockholm, you don't even know your neighbors. Of course somebody does, but that's not common. I say, who lives here? I have no idea.
Independent, because independence is super important as well.
A lot under the surface, I would say.
If I only could choose one word, I think I would choose the word polite.
Politeness in a way that creates, they prefer to be polite, that it destroys the ego. Having an ego makes you selfish, which is good in my opinion, because I've lived on the other side where the concept of an ego is shameful.
Yes, and also maybe a bit more lively when it comes to their language. When you compare Swedish to Finnish language, I think that the language is a bit more expressive. So that's maybe what I can say. But honestly, to my observations, the differences are not that big when I think of Finns and Swedes.
No, but I think Swedish people are friendly and polite, but not very open-minded maybe, or maybe they are open-minded, but maybe they are not that open-hearted. So it's, for me as a person that is, I'm pretty extrovert, yeah, I always feel a little bit different. I think people are quite calm and friendly and caring, but not as interested in meetings and stuff like that.
Quite open, but still a little bit closed.
You know what the problem is, but you can't, in social interactions, you can't really just say it out loud, because that would be rude, and we gotta be considerate of feelings, but, and people can lose friendships like that just because saying truthful stuff, because the other part can't handle it, because they have such a weak ego. So they usually they'll never have these real talks, so they just pretend like everything's fine.
I think we're pretty much afraid of conflict, I would say.
That's it.
I think the good thing is that we still have a system, and the bad thing is that it was the best system in the world once, but it is not.
The nature I like. The people, mostly. Mostly. And the difference between summer and winter, fall and not the same all the time. I like that.
I think the open nature is a good thing of Sweden. You can come out here in the archipelago and see the island of Arholma, and you can see all of it.
I really like the allemansrätt, the right to go everywhere on people's property. That you like the lack of respect for like property in that sense. Maybe that's good. I don't know.
The bad thing, or the more not so good thing, is that it's difficult for new people, new families to went out to glesbygd, what do you say, not so big places at Arholma. It's difficult to new families to went out because it's no schools or so.
I know all of the difficulties, or not all of them, but I know some of the difficulties that you can have as coming to Sweden. It's a very closed society, socially, and it's very difficult to get in here as a foreigner, and that's not a good thing, definitely.
Okay, bad and good things. We got clean water that we can drink out of the crane. I don't know, with the faucets. That's a thing I thought we had all over the world, but that's uniquely to Sweden and some other countries.
Weather. That's what comes first in my mind, definitely. Especially here, it's very rainy. So that's and good thing, definitely. 1177, the healthcare system number, you know, where you can reach, like, it has turned out to be so helpful.
A good society, which makes people rely on each other and the society, which is something positive. But on the other hand, this, with the social security, also creates some kind of, people are expecting that everything would be served.
You live a damn good life in Sweden, even if there are high taxes and the gasoline are expensive, but the most people have it very good.
I think it's being brought up here. I've always been around by people and have had friends, but so I cannot say how it is to meet new people here. But since I moved to another town this summer, I think it's not that easy to meet people here but I don't have a good thing to compare with, because when I lived in India it was so extremely easy to meet new people, because everyone was so friendly, and if I was with a friend on the street and that person met another friend, I was immediately invited to the parties and everything, and no one thought about things like I'm brought up thinking here. So
The bad is that still the same. People are very afraid. It's so different between. You have to go to Denmark, so that they are much more open. Swedish, most people are closed.
The good thing is nature and
a good thing in Sweden is the government is very open. I think that's my picture of the government. They are not closing anything. It's as a journalist you can check everything that goes on in the government.
One good thing, I think we have some of the most beautiful nature on Earth. One bad thing, it's covered in snow most of the year.
Okay, good thing, summer. I will not leave Sweden in the summer because the best thing is here. Bad thing is that we are always trying to agree, and we have like endless meetings until everybody agree on the same thing.
We have a lot of museums. A lot of people go to the museums. And a lot of litter. People just throw things.
Bad thing about Sweden, what could that be?
Well, political correctness is getting overboard. That the creating this political opinion corridors. Like, oh, you think like this, you belong here. Oh, you think like that, you belong there, and everything. But I think like three of these. No, you gotta pick one. We can't be with you if you're gonna be like that. Okay.
I think the best thing with Sweden is the nature and the possibilities we have to be able to walk around as much as we can. I think it's a free country, and I just love to be able to just take walks on the street. And I've been to the States and, yeah, of course India, and there is not that natural room for walking as I find that there is here in Sweden.
Yeah, I think that's in a short nutshell what it is.
A typical Swedish word is lagom. It's not too much and not too little. But we use that word a lot.
No, I don't know. Because the word, when you think of Swedish words and you think of lagom, I think it's a famous word abroad. So maybe I'll just go with that.
Ljuv.
I don't know. No, I can't find it for a second or two. No.
Okay, that's fine.
But I like the Swedish language.
I got three. We got the edge on the table, it's called kant. We got the folders, it's called fack. And without that, I guess we got some... That's the first two I can relate, I'm sorry.
Oi! What could it be? Okay, what comes first in my mind is underbart. I think that's a very lovely expression for when something is very, very good. It's like, oh, I don't know how to say it like literally. I mean, det är jätteunderbart. Like, it's like, how can you say?
hitta på, which means find out things.
I have answered this question before many times, but now I cannot really seem to think about maybe
Happy.
How do you say it in Swedish?
Glad.
Yeah, so if something is very great, then underbart. Yeah.
Okay. And since we're Finnish, do you have any word in Finnish that you...
That I like?
Yeah.
Something. Yes, of course we have. What could it be? Oh, wow. Is there a word you want to know?
How do you say love in Finnish?
Rakkaus. Love, it's rakkaus. Yeah. And also, this one, ovela. If something is very like sneaky, you know, you can say, or like if someone is very sneaky, you can say they are ovela. Yeah.
well, I do like the word himmel for the sky.
Then I have to say fika, of course. Fika is something sacred as well. Fika could be a cup of coffee for 5 minutes with your co-workers, or it could be like 3 hours with your friends on a Saturday afternoon with cakes and sandwiches. Just a coffee break.
And I do like the word måne for moon, but I do like moon better.
Midsommar. Midsummer. We celebrate in the middle of June. We eat like herring and typical Swedish food and dance around a pole. It's very typical Swedish.
I like this. I like some of the Swedish non-verbal means of communication. For example, as an affirmative, like it's instead of yes. That's nice. You can do this, and that means like yes.
Curious, nyfiken, because I am a curious person, and I think it's important to have the nyfikenhet to go further and see the future.
Tillförsikt.
What does it mean?
That's like the trust for the future. Actually, I have for the last year I've had cancer, and I thought I was going to die, but I didn't. Then it's give you a feeling for the future. I made that too, so that's great.
Yes. Yes.
Babushka kan vara longe så ju mer du na 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 så ju mer.
Blackout.
Babushka kan vara longe så ju mer du na 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 så ju mer. Na 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 a madrugada fria som är fraj, melankolia så ju mer.